Hello and welcome to Other Half Gaming's Mobile Monday with me, Kirsty. So today, rather than just playing the one game for you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play two different Slither games. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but effectively I came across this while searching for snake emulators on the old App Store on Google Play. And I had these Slither games come up, so I downloaded them thinking, oh yeah, that might be another version of Snake. Okay, so essentially it is another version of Snake, but not quite in the way that I thought it was. So essentially what we've got here is we've got a little wormy thing, reminiscent to the monster in the 2006 version of Slither, but looking a lot friendlier. And rather than trying to eat you, it's trying to eat your little candy-filled dots of light on the screen. So that's always good. So you can see that effectively the idea is you've got to slither around and try not to get killed and try and get as long as you can by eating as much candy as you can. So here we've got the controls are being based on the Slither.io. We've got controls of basically you just dragging your finger around the screen, telling you your little snaky thing where to go. And so you can see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you've got how long I actually am at this point and my rank compared to everybody else that's currently playing the game, because this is kind of like a live multiplayer game. So essentially you're trying to get as long as you can on your own and then also trying to up your rank by getting as long as you can and then trying to kill the other players off. So what you want them to effectively to do, you need them to run into the side of you. So what I found this little dot here. I'm not entirely sure what it does. I'm presuming I can eat it as well, so I'm just trying to chase it. I'm trying to activate my boost function, which I can't work out how to make it work. It might just be being an idiot, but I physically cannot work out how to make this work. I know on this game as well, you can play this on the actual PC and it's free again to play. And you effectively just use the spacebar and the mouse button. But obviously with a mobile, I don't have that same additional functionality as I would do on the old PC. So you can see here I'm steadily getting longer and longer and longer. This is the longest I think I've been in. This is the longest run through I had on it. What the heck is that flashy purple thing? That's huge. I think he's trying to kind of get me cornered. But as you can see, I somehow managed to get out of that. And the little thing died and then he ate the spots from the little thing, which I should have really gone back and got. But, you know, with that huge, massive, great purple thing there, I decided that I liked my life more than I liked my food. So that was a good idea. So we are gradually getting longer. As you can see, I have cut the footage a little bit here, because otherwise you'd literally just see me wandering around on the screen for ages, and that would be quite boring to watch because I was getting bored watching myself back. So I thought I'd try and make this a bit more interesting for you guys. The flashy purple thing is awesome. He's getting huge. Okay, so we've got quite a few different colours here. Another one's dead in my hand. Again, I'm presuming at this point I hadn't realised I could just eat the flashy things from the other guys, because I'm not going back to eat them, which is really stupid now I'm looking back at myself, because I would have got even longer. Whoa! That guy is huge. Okay, that guy's even bigger. So you can see actually how long some people are getting while they're playing this game. I'm quite skinny in comparison as well. Like they're quite large and I'm quite skinny and just really long. I'm more like an adder in comparison. They're like a big, huge boa constrictor cobra type thing with lots more flashy lights. This version of the game was actually developed by a guy called Steve House, according to the internet. So I did a little bit of Googling there. Just thought you'd like to know that I quite like the controls on this one. It's quite easy to control, quite easy to make move around. I quite like the black on colour gameplay as well, because it makes it really easy to see. And it's a really quite easy game. I mean, obviously this is quite a long run through, but if you're not very good, it's a really quick game to pick up and play randomly. Because the first few goes I had going through, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I just died because of that guy. That was really stupid. Anyway, we're now moving on to Slither Muncher, which is a different version of the same game, built by somebody else. Couldn't really find much information about this. It wasn't many results on Google, so I'm presuming this one's a lot newer and not quite as popular. Okay, so we've got more of a kind of caterpillar look going on rather than a worm, I'd probably say, with this one. Okay, this one's a bit more hard to control, I think, because you've got this. You can see actually what I'm using to control is dragging that little bobble around that circle in the corner. I really didn't like that. I found that really awkward. And another thing annoying with this one as well is if you died, you also had to re-put in your name every time, which was so frustrating, and it just took ages. Well, the other one seemed to save your name, and that was a lot better. I also don't like the white on colour. I found that really difficult to see. I preferred the contrast of the previous game a lot better. So what's going on here? It's just, Again, similar principle though, like the rules of the game are generally the same. You've got to kill other people by having them ram into you, and you've got to not ram into other people because otherwise you'll get killed. So, and just get your length generally as high as possible. See, like someone else died there, and there's a huge one just trying to eat all his dots, and I'm trying to steal some dots and failing miserably on that one. Okay. Oh. This one feels a lot faster than the other game. Everyone's going to be moving a lot quicker generally. Still, this control pad isn't growing on me though. I definitely prefer the moving around with your finger. Died. Definitely find the other one a lot easier to control. And again, I've got a blinking put my name in, which is a pain. Oh, we've changed the background for this one. That's a bit random. I actually think that's almost worse than the light background, because there's some bits of that have even less contrast on this kind of navy blue background than they did previously. I don't know if that's to up the difficulty or because they thought it was cool. I'm not entirely sure. But I've changed colour again as well, and I've died. So yeah, as you can see, that was a lot more awkward. See, I've got to actually manually input my entire name every single time to play this game, which I found kind of almost made me want to play the Slither.io more, because it was less of a pain to play it. And especially with mobile games, I really like to be able to just, like I've said before in previous reviews, I just want to sit and play a game quickly, because I've got 5 minutes waiting for a bus or waiting for a queue. So like at Comic-Con this weekend, we were waiting like in a queue for a signature, or in a queue because waiting for lunch because I was bored. I'd pick up my phone and quickly play a game of something on my phone. You can't do that with this because it takes so long to put your name in every single time. Because after you don't, if you're only in a queue for 2 minutes and you die 3 times, you spend half the time putting your name into this blinking game. Why? What is the point? This is slowly getting darker, this colour of screen. This is slightly better. Oh, and I died. And I've got to put my name in again. Great. This is fun. And back to the white again. Okay, but we've got less of a kind of maths books background on this one, more of a hexagon background. I'm pretty sure that's probably just a randomised function at this point. They've obviously got a randomised point of backgrounds and a randomised colour they chuck out. And obviously whether or not you see the background is dependent on the colour they chuck out the background. So, yeah. The hexagons do look better than the math spreadsheet one, but I still prefer the Slither.io background. I prefer, at least with that, because you have a standard colour for every game. You can get used to it. With this one, my eyes are looking at the screen every time and going, what the heck is going on? And the name goes in again. And that's my Twitter handle as well, in case anyone was wondering. So if anyone wants to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter name is Mrs. Kirsty Hole, and you can find links to this review on my Twitter feed afterwards. And also you'll be able to find where I get around to it doing a written version of the review for the blog. You'll be able to find a link to that through the Twitter handle as well. And just generally follow me on Twitter and give me a tweet, because that would be cool. Because you'll have seen it many times, seeing as I have to keep putting it in to play the game every couple of seconds, because I'm not quite as... I don't like these controls. I'm finding these controls very difficult to get used to. I mean, for those of you who do a lot of maybe Call of Duty or something, and you're used to playing with that thumbstick, you might have better kind of range of motion with that. I don't know if that would work, But I personally don't play a lot of Call of Duty, and I prefer using the arrow keys, and for mobiles just prefer generally using the moving your finger around, and I find that a heck of a lot easier to control. And the name goes in again. So yeah, definitely finding this one a lot more difficult to generally just control. And we've gone back to a black background. What's he going around in circles for? So as you can see, actually, on both the games, what you can do is actually overlap yourself. And you are actually fine to do that, unlike the original Snake, where that would have killed you. This one you can actually overlap yourself, and which is quite useful if you're in a bit of a tight spot and you're quite long. Obviously, you're going to get quite long and it's going to be quite difficult. So for this one, now looking back at the game, I'm wondering if that little thing in the bottom right is the boost function on this version of the game. Although there's nothing like the other, it's not like the other one we had to chase a dot and it wasn't particularly, don't know how particularly helpful that would be generally. So I don't know how you'd press both at the same time. I think you'd have difficulty doing that, like dropping your phone, which looks a bit strange. I'm steadily getting longer though. I think I'm starting to vaguely get the hang of this. And this one you also die if you go into the edge. So I think you do that. You actually do die on both of them if you run into the edge. So again, that's a little bit more like the original Snake we all know and love. So I have memories of Snake just playing Snake under my quilt covers when I was a kid, and I don't think I'd ever do that with this game. Because, one, I'm an adult, so that's always helpful. I don't actually have bedtime, which is always great. And, I died. Ouch. Anyway, so that is the end of Slither Muncher. Personally, guys, I would prefer playing Slither.io. I will probably keep Slither.io on the game, on the phone, because actually I quite enjoyed that. It was really easy to control. It was visually really nice to look at. It was really easy to play. Slither Muncher, on the other hand, was a bit of a pain. I don't know if you gathered that from the review. Just I was slightly annoyed by the name inputting. I don't know if you gathered that, but I might have dropped a few subtle hints through the gameplay. It wasn't also. I much prefer the background contrast in Slither.io to Slither Muncher. I found that Slither Muncher quite difficult to see where it kept changing, especially if you're going to keep playing it quite regularly. If you're just picking it up, putting it down again, you probably get away with it. But if you're playing consequent games one next to the other, then it's not going to be quite so good because you just can't get used to it. And I think that makes it more difficult to improve yourself and how good you are at the game and good you are with the controls. So keeping Slither.io, getting rid of Slither Muncher, and that is my review on this one. So hopefully you guys go give it a go. If you do give it a go and you agree with me or you disagree with me, please leave something in the comments below. Also, feel free to suggest any games I should be reviewing for other Mobile Monday reviews, because I would love to try out some new games. So please leave me a comment below or tweet me. It seems we now all know my Twitter handle. Or send us a message to our Facebook page. So please like, comment and subscribe. That would be awesome. So have a lovely rest of your week, and thank you and good night.